everyone. Hello, hello. What a busy week this has been. I'm going to try today to get started on this beautiful tea kettle. And I've primed it already with a spray matte sealer. Most of them use Krylon, and that's what I meant to get. And I grabbed Rust-Oleum instead, a matte finish on it. And but I think it'll work just fine. I went ahead and sprayed it, sprayed the top and the spout as well. So, and I've taped the handle up. It's black already. So I've never done one of these. We're going to see what happens. But let me go ahead and get us pulled up over here on my iPad so I can see if we can see what's going on. I know it takes it a few minutes to catch up with the comments, but hopefully we can see. Facebook and I have not been the best of friends this week. Let me just tell you that. We have definitely not been the best of friends. In fact, we haven't even really been friends this week. So let's see if I can get this down. Mute. There we go. And I see Miss Marie Mosley. Okay. All right. I was going to wait and do this in the morning. But since I've got the workshop going on tomorrow evening and the next 2 days after that, I thought, I better just go ahead and get this done and get started on it. We will not get done today. But before we do, let me go ahead and mention the Dippin' Dottie sale, June the 26th. That's next month on the 26th at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And it is our new fall set. We have a pumpkin and a ghost, a little ghost. Let me get my hand right. So we have a pumpkin, a ghost, and a little witch's hat. Aren't they cute? So there's just so many different ways you can do them. I'll show you a little sample here in just a second. But we thought, man, you could put the little ghost sitting on the pumpkin with a witch's hat on. So many things you could do with it. You could turn this upside down and have flowers or a kitty cat or a mouse or something coming out of it. But they're great just for the outline, just to make borders on things. So you don't even have to detail them out if you don't want to. And I've just got about half a voice. So, again, it is Texas. So here's what we did with the, just a real quick little sample that we did of just a couple of little things that you can do with them. And you can just let your imagination run wild with what you could do with them. So many different ways you could decorate with them. So that's going to be the fall one. The sale on these and any others that you want will be June the 26th at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And you'll have until midnight that night to place your order so that I can get invoices going that night and the next day. So that is that. So June the 26th. I went live earlier today and I definitely had plans with, had pains with the FB for the first 20-ish minutes. I know. I knew that I thought of you when I designed these, Miss Marie. I had a feeling that this was going to be your favorite. All right, let's see what we can do with this big bad boy. Again, I've never painted on one of these. I'm just going to wing it. I don't have a pattern. I am just going to go for it. We're going to do sunflowers and bees. And I don't know if I'm going to do sunflowers and bees all the way around or if I'm going to do a beehive and then sunflowers. That might be kind of cute. Let me see if I didn't even try. Like I said, this is all new for me. So I didn't even try to see if chalk would work on this. So I'm going to take the lid off. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I'm probably going to paint it black. Not positive yet, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to bring you down. This is going to be kind of a hard one to paint so that you can see, but I'll do the best that I can. Okay, I'm going to see if, first of all, just to see if chalk will show. Oh, it does show up. It shows up really well. Now, I don't think it would have shown up as well if I had not painted it with that matte spray finish because it was very glossy. So let's see if we can get us a little, let's see if we can get a little beehive going here. Everything's bees right now. So I've got to have it looking at me while I do it. So we're going to go. think I want that a little bit higher so I can get a little doorway in it. So let's start with trying to get my center point here. So I'm going to go ahead and do the little doorway first. You could do a heart, you could do just about anything for the doorway. So let's make there. I think those need to be a little bit wider. And I think I want it to scoot over a little bit. So y'all are going to bear with me. Because again, this is just off the top of my head. But this is to show you also that you don't have to have an exact pattern to go by. You can do whatever you want to do. If you don't have time or you don't have a pattern, just go for it and see what you can do. Okay, so I want them to be fairly symmetrical. Okay, that looks, let's see what we can do with that. So I want to come in a little bit. A little bit more. I'm coming in. I'm just going to get smaller and smaller. Let's go out a little further with this one. Okay, then I'm going to come up a little more. I mean, in just a little more. And let's do probably one more, we'll see. It's wonderful about chalk. You can just wipe it right off and be done. Okay, I think that'll work. We're going to go with that. So, we're going to start with, I think I'm going to do it in white first, and I just rubbed my arm in it already. And then go with, I think we'll use true ochre for the actual hive. And let's get I'm going to start with a flat brush, 1/4 inch flat, and see what we can do. Oh, let's see if I can do it upside down. So I'm going to go right along the bottom here as my, and I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see this. We're going to do the best we can. And again, I have never painted on this type of surface, so I wasn't even sure what it was going to feel like. And I was brave enough to do it live. And I think I'm going to do every other section and then come back and fill in the others. Okay, I do know once you get it on there, you got to leave it alone until it dries. Definitely. Okay, first coat, very splotchy. It's definitely going to need another coat or two. We'll see. So I'm going to start down here. Definitely glides right across it. And I'll touch it up on the bottom if I need to. Okay, so let's skip now to the next one, not the next one, but the next one up. This handle comes way over here, so it kind of gets in the way, but it's also nice to have it to hold on to. I found this at a flea market or trades day, and it was in such good shape that I just couldn't pass it up. Now we could go ahead and just do all the sections. Let's just do that. And then we'll just come back and shade them to make our sections. Be so much faster. Okay, let's fill in this one. Alright, I was looking at the back of it. Got a couple of little, tiny little chips on it. But overall, it is in really good shape. So I don't know if you saw the video, the live that I did last night. My private, quote, private group that has been doing just fine. Only the members that paid were able to get into the page. They can only see what posts I make, comments I make. But when I go live, it shows the live on both my private page, workshop page, and this page, Young at Heart. It's not supposed to do that. It's only supposed to show it in the, I'm going to take this bracelet off. It's going to drive me crazy. On my private page. So I don't know why it changed. We didn't change anything. It was doing just fine. I did a couple of test lives a few weeks ago. Everything was fine. And now it's decided to show it on both pages. So you will also be able to see the tutorial, but now you're not going to have the kits. The ladies that paid have their kits, their patterns, their instructions, and their project piece. And their names, only their names, have been placed into the drawing for a free set of the new Dippin' Dotties. All right, that looks so terribly messy right now. But for just freehanding it, I think the shape's okay, but let's dry it and put a second coat on it. I may make the door a little bit smaller. Let's go ahead and, I think I'm changing this as I go because, again, I didn't have a plan. So I'm going to make the door a little bit smaller. And we'll just paint over this white. I think the door was just a little bit too big. All right, let's dry that and see what we can do. Hi, Linda. Hi, Jacqueline. So everybody got a big weekend planned, holiday weekend? I did not realize when I scheduled the workshop for that's the next 3 days. Did not realize that it was a holiday weekend when I scheduled it, or I would have scheduled it a different weekend. All right, I'm going to put one more coat of the white, and I think I'm going to put some press and seal down. It's kind of scratching the bottom of it. Let's just do that. Okay. Oh, that explains it. I was pulling the wrong way. It's not very sticky. I've had it for such a long time. Doesn't surprise me that it's not sticky, but we're going to fix that. I was going to wait till next week since I realized I've got the workshop going on. We've got some things at church going on. David and I have some appointments going on. And I thought, no, I'm going to at least get it started. Little Miss Ellie has decided she's can pull up to everything now. She's climbing on everything. She was getting in the dishwasher yesterday as I was working on it, loading and unloading dishes. She just thought she was going to help me. She'll be 8 months old next week. But she looks like she's about 6 months old. She's very dainty, little dainty. Very healthy, very full of energy. She's just a very dainty little girl. But she's going to hold her own when it comes to her brother. They're at the stage right now. Everything he has, she wants, and everything she has, he wants. And I said, oh, that's just the beginning, I bet. But they get along so good. She watches every move he makes. And whatever room he's in, that's the room she's going to be in. Have any of y'all painted on these before? My first. And I guess if I don't like it, I can just wash it off as long as I don't seal it and start over. It's hard to hold still and try, let you guys see it and hold it still too good because it's so round. I would have it in my lap if I were just painting it with me. But I don't think you could see it at all then. And y'all, I still have not hooked my Canva phone holder up. We just have not stopped long enough to do anything the last 2 weeks. Anything like that anyway. Last weekend was one of our other grandson's birthday, so we went to that party. and celebrated Mother's Day. So we were busy that last weekend. David and I are both teaching classes. I'm teaching on Sunday and Wednesday both this past quarter, and the next quarter. David's been teaching on Sunday mornings. And then next quarter, he's going to teach on Sunday mornings too. So we've been busy with that. I teach the little 2s and 3s. Once they get to the age of being baptized, older, then we just have men teach the classes. Okay, I think that'll work for a base coat. We're going to go with it anyway. Let's see if I've got... I'm going to switch to an angle brush. And then we're going to go over it with that true ochre. I know, Jacqueline, it's almost, once you see them, you're like, I got to try that. I don't know if you can use them or not. Linda, I'm not sure. Oh, you're going to St. Louis. That sounds like fun. I don't know if the heat would cause the paint to melt. I would have to look it up. I don't know. This is the first one I've ever done. So I really don't know that much about them. But I tell you who will, and that's Amy Boutwell with Family Time Painting, I think's what it is. Your mind just goes blank when you're Family Time Crafts or Family Time Painting. But when you go live, your mind, you just kind of lose all memory of anything. But it's Amy Boutwell. She paints on a lot of things like this. In fact, I messaged her and said, what do I need to do to paint on this? Did you use special paints on yours? And she's the one that told me. She said, no, just get a matte. She uses a Krylon matte finish spray paint. And she said the paint sticks to it really well, and it is. Seems to be so far. I got a different brand than what she said by accident, but Rust-Oleum is a good brand also. Got everything ready for church tonight. I told myself I could not paint until I got everything ready for church. So I've got our clothes ready. Clothes are ironed and ready. My Bible lesson material is packed and ready. I already had the lesson done. It does take some getting used to because it's slick. Your paintbrush just kind of goes everywhere. So I'm having to learn how to kind of control it on this slick surface. So you're learning with me. I would go to Trades Day or Goodwill and see if you can find any of these. Don't go buy a new one and spend a lot of money to practice on. rubbing it and let it dry. I typically don't like to do round surfaces like this, like on cans, and I do them, but I don't like something on the back where you can't see it. I want to be able to view the whole thing. And that's just kind of an OCD thing of mine. But you can turn it around. The birds are singing like crazy out there today. We had a ton of rain yesterday. I think we had over 6 inches. And we needed it. All right, there's first coat. Let's get that dry. It does dry fast. But in between each coat, you do want to, just like any on wood or anything, you want to make sure that the coats in between are really good and dry, or you'll just be shoving your paint around, pulling it off of where you just painted. Cool it down just a little. All right, so I'm going to put the next coat on here. And it may take 3. And it always looks, even on wood or paper or material, whatever you're doing it on, first few coats, it always looks rough. Till you start putting those details in. I think once I get more comfortable with the feel of it, I think I'm going to be hooked. I don't know. We'll see. Better wait and see how it turns out before I say that. And before you seal it, you can always go around and clean up the edges if you got any off of where you wanted them to be. Probably just scratch it off with your fingernail. Okay, I think I do need one more coat on it. And then we will shade it with honey brown. And then we'll put our door on. You could take some bubble wrap and make it look honeycomb shapes on it. I don't have time to do that. I might just hand paint with a liner brush. I did just bump it. And until you get it sealed, it will knock that paint off. I think we're okay. I switched to a different quarter round. I've got actually it's a 3/8 angle brush instead of that flat 1/4 inch. I'm going to put my brush in just a little bit of water and then tap it off to help that paint go across a little better. I'm not too worried about this running here because the door is going to be there, the black. I was determined not to let all this technical stuff with the Facebook problems stress me out, because used to, I would get so stressed. I just wanted to cancel the whole thing, just forget it. It's not working. And I said, nope. We're just going to go with it and have fun. Okay, see a couple little spots here. And I did just dip my brush back in water a little bit to help it spread around. We had so much fun at my son and daughter-in-law's that live in Normandy, which is just about 2 hours north of Houston, just outside of College Station in Texas. And you saw the pictures that I posted, and that was not even a fraction of the deer that they have that come up to their house all the time. They've got so many of them named because they come so often that they recognize them. And all the mamas have fat bellies, about to have babies. Okay, let's dry that. And we'll go ahead and shade. And then we'll put our door on. Now that's pretty messy there on the bottom, but I'll clean that up after I get all the, all done with it. So let's put a little bit of our, I think that's the color I want, or do I want to go a little bit darker? I think I'm going to go a little bit darker than the honey brown. Choose milk chocolate. So we're going to go with, see what that looks like, shading it with the milk chocolate. A little bit of difference in that and the honey brown. We'll see. Maybe too dark and I may need to change it. We'll see. Don't know how it's going to work, but we will find out. Hi, Judy. Bees are going to be so pretty on this. Love the yellow against the red. I know, I do too. I love the yellow and red together. I think I'll get more and more comfortable with each one if I do some more. Okay, so I've got an angle brush here. don't know if y'all can hear those birds, but they are just having a heyday out there. I'm sorry to say that we caused a couple of birds to get a divorce. They've been nesting on our front porch up by our front door and getting bird poo everywhere. I would hose it every day, and it still was just getting everywhere. On the porch itself, on the door, on the windows. Because I have a window right there too. Straw everywhere. It was hard to even get in the door. All right, I'm going to have to bring this back here by me. Without getting into it. So I'm just dipping in water. A little bit too much water on that one. And I do like the milk chocolate. Okay, so there's the milk chocolate. My beehive may be a little bit skinny, but I'm still going to go with it. It was just kind of free-handed on very quickly, but I think it's going to work. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. And again, it doesn't matter too much in the middle. Well, it will on this one because I'm probably not going to come up that far with the door. Okay, so we've got two. You could probably even go with a darker chocolate or a darker brown. But I think this is just enough that you see those sections, but it doesn't take over. But look how it's changing it. And it's a heavy metal. You can tell because it's hitting my porcelain squares here. And loud. We may put some daisies on here too. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I should have sat down and kind of drawn out a pattern first. Okay, I went out just a little bit too far with this one here, so I'm going to go back in with that true ochre and just kind of tone it down. Add a little more to this one, make it darker on the top. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the bottom too. I will be doing some cleanup on it, but we can go ahead and put some of that milk chocolate at the bottom too. It's not going to show once it's sitting on a surface anyway, but okay, and I know that's hard for you to see while I'm painting it, but there we go. Okay, let's do let's dry that and put a little door in it. Okay, and I'm going to take my chalk and draw my door, and I think we'll put some flowers around here, and that's going to fill this out a little bit. I got it a little skinnier than what I normally would painting a beehive, but I think by the time we put flowers and vines and everything on it, it'll be fine. There's the middle. Okay, so we're going to put a door right there with some black. Now, I know there's paint just for metal that you could also use, and I'm sure it would do okay. All right, so we're just gonna start filling in the door. And you can go over that chalk line or stay right inside and then just wipe it off when you're done. Just make sure you wipe it off before you seal it. And I'm going to come all the way down. Just so that the bottom of the door doesn't show when it's sitting. Okay, let's dry that. Could possibly need a second coat on it. I think just to be safe, I'm going to go ahead and put one on. Now I do have some wooden 3D little bees that I could put on it. My plans were to just paint these on it. Bees and some flowers. Okay, let's dry that so that we can wipe that chalk off. And then we'll go around it with some of that milk chocolate. Okay, so I'm just going to take my little towel here. chalk off, and then we'll go in and go around that with that milk chocolate that we just used on our sections. If I knew of somebody close around here that was really good with Facebook and knows the ins and outs of it as far as, you know, setting up lives and private groups and all that good stuff, I would probably hire them and pay a fee for them to show me what's going on. The very first one I did ever did not have any issues whatsoever. It went great. Everything worked. It was private. We were able to get everybody's pay perfect. But we got to thinking I had a website then. And that may be the difference. I don't know. My website was hacked. And so I just shut it down and never have done another one. So that might be the difference, because we did go through the website to set a lot of the things up. So who knows? Okay, let's draw that. Now I'm going to go in with some white. Grab this over here. Grab a drink. Hopefully I keep my voice for tomorrow and the next 2 days after that. All right, and let's just go in and put some little, we're just going to do white first. And I've just got a large round brush, Royal Langnickel number 10. And let's just put some little flowers in here. It'll take a couple of coats. Could even use the Dippin' Dotties, you know, if you wanted to do that. Just put one down here closer to the bottom. Okay, there we go so far. Now some of them I'm going to leave white. Some of them I may do the brighter yellow. So let's come down here and put one here with a little bit wider leaf petal. We'll make those yellow, more like sunflowers. Okay, a little bit broader. And then we'll do one on top of this one. See if I can do this without getting my hands in the wet stuff. Okay, and we're going to do some vines too. Okay, let's dry that. I'm going to go back over the white ones that are going to be white. And this is just no rhyme or reason where I'm putting these. just putting them on here. And I think we're just going to paint these on them, on it, because I'm afraid that glue might not stick if I put those wooden ones on. Anyway, back to the birds. We put a piece of quarter round up on the ledge of the window where they were nesting. There's been a male and a female there every night for the last several weeks. And then they just started nesting. So Mr. Pam took the nest down. We made sure there weren't any eggs in it. And it just broke my heart, but we had to do something. Anyway, he took the nest down, put the quarter round up, hoping that they wouldn't want to perch on it. Well, only one of them came back. So I guess we broke up a marriage. So I don't know which one left. I don't know if the male left the female or the female left the male. I don't know. And they're really, it's really close to us. I mean, I could reach up and, or David could reach up and touch it. And they'll let us get just so close before they fly off. But they come back. Well, or the one has come back now. Not nesting though. Just sitting up there looking very lonesome, so I've been giving Mr. David a hard time. Telling him, you broke up their perfect marriage. Look at that sad little face. And I guess they're barn swallows. Beautiful color. Their little heads are copper color. And their wings are black. And their bodies are black. But they have copper kind of all through them. So I'm assuming they're barn swallows. I don't know if that's what they are or not. They are sure pretty. But they are very, very messy. We were going to put some PVC pipe up there. That works, seems to work pretty well, but there was no way to attach it to the brick. So I thought I might get a fake snake and put up there. Thank you, Judy. Hi, Francis. Hello, Tractor Man. Stupid question, but does this make it decorative only? Not a stupid question because I don't know the answer. I've never painted one of these. So I really don't know. I'll have to do some research and find out. If anybody else on here knows, I would think you would probably have to paint it with food grade paint for it to be able to use. And with it getting hot, I don't know if that would do anything to the paint. I really don't know. I've never painted one before. I will sell it at the craft show as a decorative piece only, because I don't know. And I don't want to advertise that you can use it. And then, you know, something go wrong. Okay, now I'm going to switch to cadmium yellow. So that's going to be a little bit lighter than that true ochre. Still using that number 10 round. This brush has got a weird little hair kind of sticking out on it. I think it'll be okay. Then when we put our black centers in those, they'll look more like sunflowers. Definitely will take a couple of coats. Typically don't go live on Wednesdays after lunch anyway, because sometimes I forget to look at the clock, and before I know it, it's time to get in the car and go for church. But Mr. Pam, I don't have to have supper ready because he sent me a text and said he's got to go straight from work to church. He's going to have to work a little late. So we'll do supper afterwards. So that gave me a little extra time. All right, I posted the question on here earlier on a different post that if, capital IF, because I had some ask, if I can work in a workshop on painting aprons, you would get an apron in your kit and everything you would need to paint it except for your paint and brushes. But the pattern and instructions. But if I did a 3-day workshop on that, would you be interested in, would you want to do a snowman or a gingerbread man? Looks like it would probably be September. I'm still looking at that. I'm not positive that I can work it in yet, but somebody asked, and so I'm trying to fulfill that request. But I would need more interest than just one person. And it would be here on this page. I'm not going to try to set up a private page again. But only you would have the kits, and only your names, the ones that that register, would be put in for a drawing. Okay, I'm going to put one more coat on them. I think what I will do on this one is paint it black and use my Dippin' Dotties to put some smaller flowers on it. I think that'll be cute. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards anyway. Okay, once we get this coat on, I think that'll be enough. We'll look at it and see. And if I think it looks okay, and I don't care if they're a little bit transparent, but we'll go ahead and put the center in. So it is a little different painting on round surfaces, for me anyway. I think it's a little more challenging. But you gotta be brave and go for it. Okay, and I'm going to go in with that same brush, and we're just going to put some little black centers in here. And I'm just pouncing. Oops, my hand slipped, but we'll just make it a little bigger. I painted the sweetest, it's about 11 by 14 Care Bear gift, baby shower gift for someone, but I'm afraid to post it on here because I don't sell them. I don't make any money at all. It's a gift, but I'm so afraid that Facebook would shut me down, or whoever licensed Care Bear stuff would call and say, hey, you're not supposed to be selling that stuff. Well, I don't sell it. So anyway, I'm not going to post it. But it did turn out so cute. make that a little bit bigger up here. I turn around and look at it from this direction to see what it was doing. Okay, so let's dry that, and then we'll do a little bit of shading on those. And I'm going to do some green vines and some little flowers on them, and then we'll put some bees and not sure what else. Okay, so we're just going to go in with that milk chocolate. And do a little bit of shading on the petals. It's the little details, these tiny details that make a difference on them. Now my first hat that I painted, I was scared. It was fun. But looking at the first hat that I painted versus the last one I painted, I learned each time I did one, and they kept getting better and better. So I have a feeling it will be the same thing on this. The more you do, the more you know. All right, now I need to do the other side of the petals. Oh, and then we'll make our little petal lines. And I'll show it to you up close here, just a second. We'll compare with the one that does not have any shading and the one that does. I'm going to take my little liner brush and just make some little petal, what I call petal wrinkles. I don't know what else to call them. So I do a long one. Sometimes I do a lot of little short ones. I do a long one straight up and then one straight out. I mean to the right and to the left. And put these two down here. Got a little bit of yellow on that. Okay, and I'm going to take a small, kind of a short little liner. And I'm just going to pounce some of that color in the center here. Okay, so there's that one. I think I'll put some white on the tips too. And then there's without. So without and with the shading definitely makes a difference. Let's take that little liner brush and let's highlight these little petals. Actually, I want to do the other side. Bumped it with my hand. I will say it is pretty easy to kind of wipe off until it dries. Okay, so there's that little booger. Now again, it would be so much easier if you're down here like this, holding it in your lap and doing it yourself and not trying to do it where everybody can see. You'd have much better luck with it. Thank you, Judy. So Jacqueline says she would love an apron workshop. Snowman. Once you do the snowman, you can easily do the, basically the only difference in the face with the pattern that we would do would be the noses. So once you do one, you could do the other. Okay, so I'm going to take a little filbert brush, a little oval filbert, and go over these little daisies a little bit. And let them be drying while we do this other. Little sunflower, I guess it is. And we'll have to do a center on these. I am getting hungry for some homemade ice cream. I haven't made any this year yet. About twice a year, 2 or 3 times a year, we'll make some. But it was in the low 60s, maybe in upper 50s last night here for Texas, and it's nearly June. I don't know what's going on with this weather, but I'm going to wait and let it get a little warmer. All right, we'll let those be dry while we go here and detail out this other little guy. So I'm just getting those petals a little damp. They dry really fast under these lights and being on metal. My ring's turned around and lumpy jawed. Now, if I were to go over on this other side of the petal and try to go, it would wipe off what I just did. So I'll just go all the way around and do one side of each. And by the time I get around, they're pretty dry, or I can dry them and not wipe off what I just did and go around and do the other one. So I just keep dipping into that milk chocolate. Okay, one more. And then we'll do the other side. Okay, so we've got one side of each done. Now I've about decided that since I had COVID, which has been 2 years ago, the last time I had it, about 1.5 years, I guess. Since then, my nose has never stopped running. I've had the sniffles ever since. And I've heard lots of people say the same thing. They said, yes, since I had COVID, and I had COVID 4 times. But that last time is the one that ever since then I've had the sniffles. Now I have allergies too. But they always kind of come and go. Well, this has never stopped. So just one more thing to thank COVID for. COVID just changed our world in many, many ways. Okay, so we got that one done. Let's do our little wrinkle lines. And we'll do our white highlights. And let's put some of that chocolate, milk chocolate in the center. Okay, so we've got those 2 flowers pretty much done. Well, let's put a yellow center in these white flowers. And we'll go with the cadmium yellow. I was trying to think, what color do I want to go in with? I want to come out a little further. Okay, and then we're going to, we will shade the flower petals with a little bit of gray. Okay, so it's coming along, slowly but surely. Well, let's go ahead and add some highlights to the actual hive while my white is still good and wet. Into the door. Now I could even go in with, let's just see what it would look like. I'm going to go in with this yellow on my little makeup brush. I'm going to get most of it off. And let's see what it does if we kind of highlight these centers. I'm afraid to rub too hard because I don't want it to rub the paint off. But it does highlight it a little bit. And it may be hard for you to see on the camera. Okay, but it did add, I don't know if you can see them or not, but there's some little highlights in there now. All right, I'm going to take slate gray, actually a little darker than what I want. Let's go with gray slate, gray sky. See what it does. Oh, these little white flowers. And we'll put something else in the center. Also, so I'm just adding it to the very tip of that angle brush, the toe. Not getting a ton on there. Yeah, I think we're going to try this gray sky, and if it's not dark enough, then we will go back to the slate gray. Okay, so I'm going around each petal. Okay, I'm going to try the slate gray and see if I like it better, because that's not showing up much at all. I don't want it to overpower the white, but I do want separation in the flowers. Not a ton of difference, but I think it may just be just enough. Yes. Too much water. Okay, it is showing up. I don't know if you can see that, but now we're getting some separation. And those petals looks more like a flower. And if we have to come back in and add a little more white, we can do that. Okay, let's dry that. We'll probably have to put another coat of that yellow on also. Okay, now I'm going to go on the other side, and I know this is so hard for you to see. Definitely had too much there. Okay, so it's pretty gray. Those petals are smaller. So what I'm going to do is is come back in with a small round with some white, and just right down in the center here of each petal, just lighten it back up with some white. Pretty much just dry brushing it. And that just tones it down. I'm going to go back in with another coat of that yellow. All right, let's do the same thing on the other petal, but I'm going to switch down to a, let's see, I have a very small angle brush, tiny little thing. Let's see if that will help on these petals over here. Oh, we forgot to do our little wrinkle lines. If I have wrinkles, these flowers have to have wrinkles. And I have plenty of wrinkles. So I'll just do a tall one in the middle, typically one to the left, one to the right. And you really don't even have to put anything on the back side if you don't want to. But I will definitely at least have some bees on the back side too. And I'm going to take some of that true ochre. And put in the center. I'm going to do a little white highlight here in a second too. But let's get that shading done on these. And we're going to try it with that smaller. It is a 1/8 inch. Maybe too small, but we're going to try it. Wrong color. I was dipping into the milk chocolate. That's not what we want. Okay, that's working pretty well. A little bit easier to control on it. These petals are a lot smaller than the other flowers. I'm dipping back into the water, but then patting my brush off. And just kind of blending it on the page, on my palette. Anybody got big plans for this holiday weekend? We don't know yet if Mr. Pam is going to have to work or if he's going to be off. So far, I think he's worked every holiday since he's been there. Okay, let's dry that. Do the other side. This is definitely one of the projects that when you're working on things like this that you need to, because you're so up close with it, you need to step away, come back to it. It's easy to get frustrated thinking, oh, it's just not doing what you want. But then you've got to remember that thing that we always say, trust the process. Still got lots of details to put on this, so it would be easy to get frustrated right now. But I also have to give myself some grace. This is the first one I've ever done. It is very different, a very different feel as far as the texture, but it's also hard to do the round. Now again, if I weren't live, it would be easier. So don't judge it by the way I'm doing it here, because it would be much easier for you holding it in your lap and doing it the way you typically paint. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit of that white and just go back in here and brighten it up a little bit. Okay, let's do our little gray lines. We are going to be planting some seeds in our Bible class tonight. We are going to be talking about the parable of the sower. So I have some little things for them to plant. I think for the vines, we're going to go with Hauser medium green, or light green. I'm going to go ahead and put some highlights on these yellow flowers in the center. And let's go ahead and do the other flowers. Okay, so I'm going to switch to my long liner. This is a 30-0, so it's very long. And let's just put a few little vines on here. I'm not going to have time to finish, of course, but let's see if we can get a few on here. Okay, I think I'm going to take my chalk. See if my chalk pencil will work on this. Yes, it does. So I want to dry these flowers first. And let's see where we want some vines. Okay, we'll do some over the door. Okay, and I don't think I really need to even draw those. I think I can just do that. Maybe behind here. And then coming up here, out of this one. All the way out up here. Okay, let's make it come. I'm trying to decide how I want this. Like it's going behind the... Okay, we'll do that there, and then we'll come pretty much the same thing here. Don't like that. Can't like that. Okay, so I'm just kind of roughing there. Sorry, I left you for a minute there, brain-wise. I was having to think. And we'll see how this works. I may not like it, may take it off. But we're going to try. So I'm going to turn it upside down. And I've just got just a few minutes here. And we'll put some little leaves, and probably we'll use a Dippin' Dotty. To put some little flowers on it. Okay, that's just a rough little vine on there. And you can make them look like little grapevines if you want to do a different color. Okay, I'm going to take my small Dippin' Dotty. And put a couple of little flowers on here coming off of the stem. Oops, I didn't press that one down. See how I only got 4 petals on that one? So I took the other end of the Dippin' Dotty. I'm going to add it right there. Now we can also add some more to the vine. Again, I didn't press down hard enough, so I'm just going back in and adding to it. So love using the Dippin' Dotties. Okay, now I need to go back in and put some centers in those. And let's go with the bright yellow, the cadmium yellow. And then I'm going to dry them just enough to set them. But I don't want to make them bubble. I don't want to get them too hot. Okay, so let's set those. And we can have some bees kind of like they're wanting to get some nectar from these flowers. I am going tomorrow. Hi, Tina. Oh, you made some last week. What flavor, Jacqueline? Thank you, Vicki. Okay, there was a comment. Okay, I'm not sure what that comment was. I think that was off of something else that just showed up. So we can take our little round brush. I don't think I have a tiny little oval brush. Over here I have one. I just don't think I have it over here, but there. And we can make some little leaves using medium and light, both. Or we could use dark green. So let's do that. Let's get dark green on one side, light green on the other, and see what we end up with. Okay, so dark, light. And so there's little leaves. That way I get, putting both colors on there, I get instant highlight and shading. Let's put some right. Try not to get my fingers in them. The ones that are still wet. Okay, so you get lots of different variations in there. You may want to go back and add a little more of one color. So I'm going back and adding a little more of that lighthouser. We'll put a couple right here. And I think that should do it. On those leaves. Okay, and we've got some flowers and we've got some leaves, and then we're going to be putting our little bees on them. You know, bees love those flowers. Hi, Patty. Okay, Vicki says she's going to miss the live for the penny slaying workshop. My son is coming from Arizona tomorrow to visit for a few days. Sad to miss the workshop, but I'll catch it on the replay. But I'm excited he is coming. Oh, I'm excited he's coming too. That's worth missing it for. But yes, you can definitely go in and watch the replays. All right, so here's what we've got so far. Not too shabby for not knowing what we were going to do. I can even still put some more vines out there. But I think once we get the little bees on there, that's really going to add to it. And then we can just throw in some extra flowers and things back here. Might even put some grass on it. I'm really not sure yet, but the only other thing that I need to do is paint the lid black. While I've got some black out, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Got my Dippin' Dotty clean. I don't want it paint dried on it. You always need to clean them. Don't leave them soaking in water. So I had that one soaking for just a minute. And it's clean and dry and ready for the next use. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of coats of black on this. Because I've got all this black sitting over here, so I may as well make sure there's no dust on it. So we will put something on this, just not sure what yet. Probably some more flowers. I'm not going to put it on the part that goes down into the tea kettle because I think the that would just come off, putting it in and out, taking it off and on. But I am getting it just around that rim. Okay, let's dry that. What would you put on the lid? I found the Teapot Tina at a trades day, just about 30 minutes from where we live. They have a trades day every month, 1 week out of the month. Well, I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday each month. And I saw it sitting there. It was already red. And I've been wanting to try to paint one. So I thought, man, this is a no-brainer. No-brainer. They used to have them a lot at Goodwills and thrift stores. Now, I don't know, since everybody's painting, they may be hard to find since everybody's painting them. But I would definitely check out your local Goodwills and thrift stores. They may even have some inexpensive ones at Dollar Tree. I'm not sure. They probably won't be this pretty red color. They'll probably just be the silver. I don't know. You might get lucky and run across some. The knob was already black, and it's a Farberware is the brand name. Okay, I can set that aside and let it dry while I'm gone. Smooth it out there. All right, so I think that's going to look pretty black on it. That'll be cute with all the bee stuff that we've got going on. I'll go ahead and dry it some and see if we can get a second coat on there right quick before I gotta go. And remember, replays are available for 30 days. After 30 days, Facebook removes them. But most of my videos, or I'll say a lot of my videos, I have downloaded onto my YouTube channel. So I've got lots of things that I've painted in the past on there. I don't remember how many videos exactly I've got. But a bunch. So if there's something you're wanting to see that I've possibly done in the past, go check out my YouTube channel. I would appreciate it if you could subscribe to it. Okay, I think that will do it. On that. Now the sealer, laying it on its back here, has kind of made it kind of flake a little bit. I don't know if that's what was doing it or not before I put this piece of paper on there, but I'll reseal that and that'll be fine. Okay, ladies, I've got to go get ready for church. Our church starts very soon, so I've got to go get everything ready and change and get ready for that. But thank you so much for hanging out with me. We started out with this, and so far we've got this. So we've got a little ways to go. I don't know that I'll get to work on it tomorrow because I have the tutorials that I've got to get, the workshop I've got to get ready for, but we will finish it sooner or later. And I'll try to get on here and finish it with you. I know it's kind of hard to see what I was doing with it being round because I wasn't sure what I was doing. So I had to keep it kind of close to me. But, and again, this handle's black. I just taped it up while I was spraying it, and I decided to leave that on until I paint it. But it's the same thing as the knob is, black. So we'll see. I've got to figure out where I want to put the bees on it and if I want to put anything on the back or just leave it like that. So hope you learned something. I did. I learned that it was worth trying it. I think I'm going to like it. You know, don't ever be too afraid to try something. You can always redo it, get another one, do take two. But don't forget that the next Dippin' Dottie sale on our Halloween fall set, a pumpkin, a little ghost, and a little witch's hat. And just something flying around there. That sale will be June the 22nd. And that will be at 10 a.m., June the 22nd, at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I've already put the book away that showed some of the samples that we did. We painted with them. But be sure, and mark that on your calendar because at 12 o'clock that night, the sale ends. You can order any of the, here's just a few, but you can order any of the other sets as well. We have bumblebees, we have butterflies, we have the word love, we have hearts, we have Christmas, we have paws, we have circles for snowmen and stuff. But anyway, and bubbles and lots of different things. So you can order any of those. Those will be available as well. That's on June the 26th. So mark your calendar. Thank you for hanging out with me while I work on this. I can't wait to get the little bees on it. I think that's when it's going to come alive. So I'm anxious to get that on there. I think that's really going to make a difference on it. But thank you. I've got to go get ready for church. I love. I love Sundays and Wednesdays to go get to be with my church family. They are they're my church family. They're my spiritual family, and I just love being with them. I love going and worshiping God, and I hope you get to do the same tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. All right, I will see all of you tomorrow. Bye-bye.